Hello, I'm the Monk, and today we're going to be doing a review for Dungeons 3, the complete collection. In Dungeons 3, you take on the role of a dark elf and that of a dungeon lord. You build up a mighty dungeon, and with the united forces of evil, take the overworld and destroy good. This game has been developed by Realm Forge and published by Calypso Media, who actually sent me a key for this game, so thanks very much for that, guys. It can be found on the PlayStation, the PC, and the Xbox, and will set you back £25. So what actually is Dungeons 3? Well, honestly, I had never heard of this franchise, or at least I thought I'd never heard of this franchise until I started playing it. Now, when I actually started playing this game and put some time into it, I realised that I had played it years ago, obviously Dungeons 2 or Dungeons 1, I'm not sure which one, but it was always a game that I remember very fondly. And I was really pleased for that because Dungeons 3 was not a letdown. So what actually do you do? Basically, you are a dungeon lord and you have complete control. You are a floating hand and you have minions or snots that will build the dungeon for you as you design it. And that's actually more complicated than it sounds. One, you have to farm for gold to actually buy things for. Secondly, you can build yourself chicken coops for food. You can build yourself workshops for boxes and toolboxes and tinkerer's boxes. Build yourself a hideout for your army to actually sleep, because your army in this game have to sleep, they have to eat, they have to be happy. You can supply them beer, and you can also pay them, or I say you can also pay them. It's not actually optional. If you don't pay them, don't have the money for them every week, they will go on strike. If they don't have somewhere to sleep or are not properly fed, they will go on strike and therefore not defend your dungeon should it be raided. And boy, is your dungeon raided. It's raided an awful lot. No matter what difficulty you play on, how early you are in the game or the level, you are constantly bombarded with heroes and adventurers that want to seek a name for themselves. But the basic idea of the game is you build yourself up an army, you take that army to the overworld, and you attack the heroes. You destroy them for whatever reason or whatever level you're currently doing. Now, the actual combat itself is relatively simple. You basically point and click, and your troops will do the job for you. We actually have a variety of units. We have melee units, we have ranged units, and we also have magic wielders who are also ranged units. We also have some that heal your melee units as well. And of course, you have the Dark Elf. She is the hero of your army and the strongest member as well. Now with her, as well as the point to click, in the later missions you also unlock spells like meteor showers to rain down destruction on your enemies, or of course you can bolster and boost up other units to make them stronger within the battle as well, or even make a room in your dungeon produce that much more. Now, the actual game itself is a sandbox, but it's randomly generated, so no two levels are ever going to be the same, even if it does feel a little bit sameish. But no matter how much you actually play, your dungeon itself is always going to be unique, because you're never going to get the same layout as you did the last level, which for me, I found really exciting, because in every single level that I played, and the more I played, I learned new tricks of how to defend my dungeon heart and how to keep it safe and make it be more productive. But you see, that is the trick, is keeping your heart safe, because you are attacked a lot within this game. But as you develop through the game, you actually unlock traps as well, because what would be a dungeon be without traps and booby traps lying around at every single corner? So I'm kind of glad they added that bit in too. Now there's actually over 50 missions within this collection. There's also co-op and there's multiplayer as well. So there's a lot of gameplay within this game. And amongst the DLCs that are a part of the collection, there is Once Upon a Time, Evil in the Caribbean, Lord of the King, and Clash of Gods, and many more. This collection comes with a huge amount of content for the price. Now, a single level could range you anywhere from, say, 45 minutes to over 2 hours, depending on how fast you actually push the objectives within each level. Me personally, I like to take my time, I like to build up my dungeon, and I actually like to fully level every single character and unit within my game before I actually push up. And you can do that. The game allows you that kind of freedom. And it's also pretty good to see that the game has that kind of depth. So not only can I expand how many troops I can have, but I can also rank up the troops I've got as well. Now I can rank them up a couple of different ways. I can rank them up in experience that they gain through combat, and I can rank them up through the research in science that I gain down in my dungeon. Now, one thing I was worried about was that once my dungeon got a certain size, or once I got so many troops, that the game itself would begin to show signs of wear in the performance. However, that didn't happen for me. I had no lag, I had no dashboarding. The game worked absolutely as intended, which was really nice to see. However, looks isn't everything, and this game proves that, because when it comes to sound, this game has an absolutely outstanding narrator. Now, having a little look at this game, apparently this is the same narrator that was in the last game. Of course, I don't particularly remember that because I have no idea if it was the last game I even played. But I have to say that the narrator in this game and the banter that the narrator and the main character, the Dark Elf, actually have is hilarious. And it actually continues throughout the entire game as well. This is a fully voice acted game, and in this day and age that seems to be becoming something of a rarity, especially in cheaper games. And the humour within that banter is definitely for all age ranges, be it adult or the younger audience. I think it's good enough for all to enjoy. And all that being said, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed this game. It's one of those games that, honestly, I didn't know the franchise before I started playing. And then once I did start playing, it was a recognizable franchise and it wasn't a disappointment either. And for the 60 to 90 hours of gameplay that's actually available within this game, given the price is only £25, I highly recommend picking up this game if this is the type of game that you would like to play. But if you've enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course comment your thoughts down below. Have you ever played a Dungeons game before, and is this one that you're going to be picking up? But as this is the end of the review, guys, thank you very much for sticking around this long. I really appreciate it. You are legends, and of course don't forget to drop down red banana down below, just to confuse anyone that didn't watch to the end. But until next time, I'll catch you later.
The gormless evil had been somewhat distracted by its constant nose-picking and somehow allowed these miserable heroes to actually destroy the dungeon heart. Thus ends the story, and if they haven't wandered off, then they're loading a save game right now, and they're going to pay better attention.